Never been the type to walk around with broken promises. I'm always on some honest shit. I took my time to honor this. Oftentimes I crack a smile while hide behind my confidence. Them same lips you be kissing, yeah, this loving ain't anonymous. This is pure enjoyment, I'm sitting back and I'm pondering. Thank God for you, will always take what you offering. Never too much, never giving me less. On the days that you ain't got it, you always give it your best. Lady, you are mine, I say that shit with my chest. Reason that I love you, you always easing the stress. You my backbone, and that's the reason I flex.
What up? Name's Deezy. Welcome back to another video. And here we talk about various topics through the lens of motivation, inspiration, and achievement. And today we're gonna walk through a 2-day trip to Switzerland with a whole bunch of friends of mine and my wife, of course. By the end of this trip, you'll have plenty of things to do while in Switzerland, specifically within Zurich or Grindelwald. And funny enough, while we were on this 2-day trip to Switzerland, we had obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. But, you know, we just saw the best in everything and we had a great time. Let's talk about it. Before we get back to Switzerland, do me a favor and like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. So we actually left Prague to head to Switzerland really early. And I mean like 3-4 in the morning early. Our place in Grindelwald, yes, that's a real place. I know it sounds like something out of a Harry Potter book, but Grindelwald, Switzerland is a real place. But anyways, we booked our Airbnb to check in around 4. So if we were gonna leave Prague at like 4, get in Switzerland around maybe 9 or so, we were gonna be basically not having a place to stay for quite a bit of time. And then to add more to that, we actually didn't sleep very well the night before because, of course, in Europe, I'm not going to prioritize sleep if we're only going to be here for 2 weeks. So on top of not having a place to necessarily get comfortable in, we were also really tired. So we were zombies for about half that day. We eventually were going to leave Zurich. We unfortunately didn't get to spend the amount of time there I would have liked. The train ride to get to Grindelwald from Zurich was about 3 hours or so, and we really wanted to make sure we didn't miss that train. So for the most part, we were really cognizant of that, so we didn't want to like mess around too long. But we did walk around quite a bit and get to see this amazing city.
I ain't get no rest, cause I'm gon' win, I make plays. So I give my best, and you can say whatever you want about me. Do whatever gon' please you. You ain't never seen nobody come up like this and then catch amnesia.
However, I did want to leave a few things that you can do if you do plan on staying in Zurich a little bit longer than the time we did. One place I would recommend is the Lindt Chocolate Factory. If you didn't know, Switzerland is really big on their chocolates, and in Zurich they actually have a museum totally dedicated to chocolate. You can buy tickets, you can go on a self-guided tour, or you can have a guide there with you to kind of talk to you and show you everything about the chocolate and how it's made. And if you wanted to dive a little deeper, there's actually a few classes you can take while at that factory. You'll obviously have to sign up for it in advance, but they'll show you how to make chocolate and they'll really get into a lot of the history around the chocolate. Another thing I would do is check out the Lament River. I don't know if I said that right, but we just gonna ride with it. Basically, it's a big river in the center of town, and of course around that river are a bunch of restaurants, places to shop. And then if you really want to get a little close and personal with it, there's actually cruises you can take on top of that river. Beautiful scenery. We didn't really get to see it, unfortunately, just because we were walking around and we didn't have the time to do it, but I highly recommend you do it. And lastly, I would recommend the Swiss National Museum. I'm pretty sure there's so many good things to learn about Swiss history within that museum. I'm not the biggest museum guy, but I definitely would have went just to kind of check it out and learn more. I mean, if you're there in Zurich, I highly recommend it. I will say, out of all of the cities that I wish I had just a little bit more time in, Zurich was definitely that city. But just due to time constraints, I wasn't able to, check out any of these places. But I feel like if I'm gonna make a video about it and talk about Zurich for a little bit, I could at least do a bit of research and kind of put you on game. So enjoy. Let me know if you've been to any of these places or done any of those activities. I love to hear about it. All right, let's go ahead and head to Grindelwald. On the way to Grindelwald, there's actually this town called Interlaken, so it's actually on the same train line. And originally we were going to go to Interlaken, but the last minute we ended up switching up our plans to do that. When I tell you the water in this town looked fake, it looked like Gatorade. It almost seemed like they put food coloring in the water or something like that, but it was beautiful. I don't really know too much about Interlaken. I did look up a few videos prior to, because again, we were going to plan to go there first. But I would say a lot of the same things you will be able to do in Interlaken, you will be able to do in Grindelwald, and I'll get into everything we did in Grindelwald in a bit later in the video. We finally arrived in Grindelwald and I was ready to just pass out in the bed, which I did shortly, but I did want to get a few clips of the view from our Airbnb. As you can see, it is beautiful. Okay, so we woke up the next day and the first thing we wanted to do was check out this place called Fierce Top Adventure. It's spelled first, but all the videos I saw, they said Fierce, so I'm gonna just say Fierce as well, but I don't know, to me it says first, whatever. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The point is that this is a bunch of different activities on top of the mountain. You can actually walk across a big platform that is hovering over a mountain. I didn't do that actually. It was too much for me. There's hang gliders. There's all these different go-karts and all these activities you can do once you do get to the top. And we were ready to go. I was super excited. But the rain got in the way. Unfortunately, due to the rain, most things were closed, so we ended up passing on a lot of that, but we did get a chance to go to the restaurant at the top of the mountain, enjoy those views, and really just walk around. So again, it wasn't an ideal first part of the day because everything that we wanted to do was closed due to the weather, but it was still really cool to go to the top of the mountain and just see how beautiful Switzerland is. All right, so we had come down from the mountain after going to that restaurant, but the night wasn't over. We wanted to go to this place called Glacier Canyon Grindelwald, which is pretty much a park that overlooks like a river, essentially. So they've built a bunch of beams and places you can walk through. It was fantastic. It was raining, of course, but like I said, I'm gonna take advantage of what I can take advantage of, and I can control what I can control. It was cold, it was wet, but it was absolutely the highlight of Grindelwald for us. And one of the coolest things along that walk was this net that was actually suspended above the roaring river. And the whole time I was on it, I was thinking about those Final Destination movies. But I mean, I said, hey man, like, let's just do it. Let's just try it out, you know. I'm sure that they have all the safety regulations set up for it or whatever. Maybe not, maybe whatever. Anyway, I ended up doing it and it was a blast. Just taking pictures and hanging out with friends and crawling up it. And it was really cool just to look down and see how powerful that water is. Once we got back, rested up, me and my wife actually had a flight to go to Italy the next day. So we ended up just hanging out on the balcony, had a few beers, enjoying ourselves, and they actually surprised me with a birthday cake. So it was gonna be my birthday in like a few days, but since we weren't gonna be with this group of friends anymore, they decided to surprise me that night. And it was pretty cool to celebrate a birthday in Switzerland. Never ever thought I'd ever do something like that. And of course, the next day we wake up to a text message saying that our flight had been canceled. And we had already paid for a train to go back to Zurich, where we're gonna take our outbound flight to go to Italy. We actually had to switch it up and buy a whole nother train ticket and go to Geneva instead. And again, it was a little bit more money than what we wanted to spend. The train tickets aren't exactly cheap and there was no way we could have got a refund. But hey, the way I see it, we got to see a different city in Switzerland that we never intended on seeing, so. We ended up boarding the plane and we headed to Italy. That'll be the next video that I put out, travel related, but Switzerland was amazing. So just to kind of wrap up the trip, it definitely came with a lot of its annoyances and obstacles, but I think in life, nothing's perfect. We're never gonna have something go 100% the way we want it to go, but you just enjoy it through whatever you're going through. I wouldn't change it for anything. I mean, I can't control the weather. I couldn't, you know, make myself not be tired. I guess I could have slept the night before. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that. But either way, things happen how things happen and we're just going to kind of roll with it. I do want to go back to Switzerland to maybe have like a redemption trip. But if I never go back, I'm very happy with my experience in that country. It was fantastic. Now you get it. So I always want to give a friendly challenge at the end of my videos. Do it or don't do it. I think that I want to give you an immediate way to apply kind of something I learned while I was on the trip or some topic that I'm talking about. And one thing I want to talk about is just resilience and to just see the bright side of everything. Again, life isn't always gonna work out the way we want it to work out, but we can always challenge ourselves, and this is the challenge obviously, to see the best in things. So throughout this week, just think about like those little bitty small things that maybe didn't go your way, but take some time to look at the bright side of this thing that's seemingly annoying. So one example I can kind of think of is if my internet goes out at the house, I can't work at all. I'm paralyzed. I can't do very much of anything unless I have an internet connection. And so what I have to do is I'll then have to go to the office, and I normally work from home. I've been spoiled to be able to work from home, and I don't have a commute. My commute is waking up and walking to my office, which is amazing. But the bright side of having to go to the office to use the internet is I get to interact with people more than just besides Zoom, and I get to see downtown Austin and see the city. So even though it wasn't something I planned on happening, right? I don't plan on the internet going out. I can always see the bright side in that and think about the benefits of, you know, whatever misfortune has happened. So just do that and you never know, it'll change your mindset on things. Yeah. All right, I'm out. Thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor and like, comment, subscribe. I'll have a video up next week. But in the meantime, go ahead and watch this vlog I put up about Paris. I talk about how discipline allowed me to get to Paris, and I have a whole bunch of different things that you can do while you're in Paris and things you should check out. But until next time, I'll see you later. Peace.